Hello, IK here. Welcome to orders, table orders. Here it is, SQL. It is coding uh, ChatGPT after my prompt. And I agree with all this. Order ID, user. Every order is for some user, and relationship between users and orders is one to many. One users can have many orders. One orders can have only one user. And here it is. Order ID is primary key, user ID is foreign key, order date. Status is interesting because status sign in which phase is ordered. Can be pending or waiting for processing, shipping, delivered, or cancelled. Default is pending, of course, because it is beginning. Total amount, delete at. Deleted at, I spoke about this. It is soft deleted. Soft deleted, but if happened because of any reason, hard deleted, we have this SQL where if we hard deleted users, would be deleted all orders of that users. But we, of course, we soft deleted users also. But we never know by law, by some rules in government, from government, and some request of users or some law process can find that we hard deleted user, and in that situation all would be hard deleted. Okay, it is order. Here it is that orders visible. And like any other, we have a form, add user form. We have, this is a list, orders list, orders list. We have update, we can update. Update okay. We can delete, etc. Here it is. I see save changes, but there is no cancel that process. Okay, I must set ChatGPT that code. Cancel button, always cancel button in every form. Okay, now what is interesting is code. A code, it is a server express, and here is this. File organization, here in e-retail admin is express here application, my backend. And every time when I update, when I commit this application, with it would be updated my backend also. And why I spoke it? Because we must open every time I must open my backend in like separate application, and it is two application for front end and back end, but back end is here physically, and I don't need update or commit my backend, but only this front end React admin e-retail admin. It is front end. Here it is SQL for database. You copy it and copy it in examp PHP myadmin. And it's all what you need that work with this application. Need database, and here it is. Okay, here is in source file is app folder, and that app folder there is a store. It is app folder because all inside it is for all React application. In features is a table, article, and every table need CRUD. That CRUD I learn, and I have a model for that in Tank 1. And after that, I only said artificial intelligence code CRUD for this table, and I copy SQL of that table, and of that table, and of course I copy a complete CRUD, add the new article, complete CRUD in beginning from Tank 1, but after that copy any one CRUD, departments, category, etc. And here it is article. I am in admin part, and here in admin there is a lot of more than usual form component, etc. A feature that I say feature, like assign new category form, JS, remove category form, update is okay, article form, and all other is okay. Every component there is a CSS also. All that coded ChatGPT. After that, here is a category folder for category, add category form, category list, category slice. Every CRUD must have category slice because I always use Redux. Why? That we learn it by repeating, by using it. We would be know Redux. I cannot imagine React without Redux. And also, any of my students who follow me through this video always is application is combination React Redux, and the slice is reducer. Every table, every CRUD, there is a slice. It is reducer. Here is a category slice. Here is a category slice. and department. You see department, add department, add department form, department list, department slice, and update department. Every component there is a CSS, same name, CSS. And in every folder is CRUD, complete CRUD, with uh, with CSS, and it is excellent organization for me. It suggests to me artificial intelligence, that organization. Uh, there is a maybe it it is. I don't see now that it's problem, but uh, I listen what ChatGPT say me, and if that is intention, if that offer of is excellent, I must judge it. Does it does it good? And it is all good. But for example, for in a list, I always ask and show code that two component be on the list, at least two component. Single members component, for example, article, excerpt, department excerpt, category excerpt, etc. Orders, this excerpt, and list. It is excellent orientation, excellent structure and architecture by principle separation by concern. First principle in acronym SOLID. Here is orders. This video, it is orders. Orders, there is add order form, JS, CSS, orders list, orders list, plural all orders, orders list, JS, CSS, orders slice, and update orders form, JS and CSS. It is order all that coded ChatGPT because it is all the same coding for article for it is crude, and I coding every crude is same. Every crude is same. Crude is a fundamental unit for me in building any React Redux application. Fundamental. It is basic. It is unit, fundamental unit. And all this e-commerce, what in the end can have 20 tables, all it is very simple to code it for ChatGPT. When I said what I want, when I copy code, how I want to be, I copy crude, how I want that to be coded. For example, ChatGPT coded separately. If I don't intervene, coded separately excerpt, for example, orders excerpt and orders list, articles excerpt, articles list, not together in physical file. But what is, I insist. Here is orders. Okay, it is file organization. Now we'll see code for orders. Add order forms. Orders forms for, it would be about basket and customer field orders. But here in crude, we must have a possibility to access every part of orders. And because of that, every table there is a add add a new. Here it is add new or orders. This table also. After that, I work table on table items, order items also will have add possibility, add new items, delete, update, and read to see it on the screen. Because it is administration part. Administration have access to all features concretely table. All crude possibility concretely for concretely table. Okay, I didn't. I at this moment I think like it, but I didn't talk with ChatGPT about that. Uh, what is common practice in company, in delivery, in developers world, professional developers world, because I am teacher. I am teacher, and thanks to uh, ChatGPT, it is very simple for me to know how work professional production company. But I am teacher, but I coding also all application what I need for my private school. All system I have in access, and it is all system for my private school, from invoices to classes, students evidence, recording, etc. And I know what is a real world because I have a real business, almost 30 years, 28 years. And all what I need in software, I coded myself. And, without Chat GPT, of course, before 40 years and up. Okay, here is add order form, orders list, update order, CSS, JS. Every of these there is a JS component and CSS design. And here it is orders slice JS. It is reducer orders, for orders. It is reducer is part of the stores. Store is a main part of Redux. Okay, we can see add order form, CSS. It is CSS. Here it's JS. Import what I need to import. Add order coming from slice. It is tank. Add order is tank for tank what we need in tank from order slice from this reducer. Use dispatch. It is hook what we need to dispatch action to store. Dispatch action to store. And here is a connection with the CSS. Here is a declaration of component. It is a reference, it is a declaration of object add order form, it is a reference of function component function, it is arrow function. Arrow function, there is no name. And this add order form is name of function. And it is reference to that function, and function is a component. It is functional component. Because of that, we call this kind of component functional component. There is also class component, and authors from Meta company maintenance and updated also class component. As I know, uh, they promised, but I don't control this moment. Does it class component updated as the same? Because I'm all complete in functional component. All this application work in functional component because I can do all what with class component, but more simple way. Uh, it is can say it is a logic declaration. This object, it is for logic. We need user ID. We need total amount. If this both exist, we would use it. Look at here. We use that logic here. If exists user ID, because order must have user ID, and this is total is take here in this logic total amount. It is that we have both both for this and logic, both sides for this and logic. But this total amount, it can be zero. Also mean that must be one item, at least one item in basket. On save order clicked, it would be called when we push button save. And now we control add new order, but all that would be in a front side, visible for in application public. This is admin in application public, e-retail public. We will have basket, and that from that basket go ahead orders, etc. But now all what happened here now in admin with add new orders, it would be happened with basket filling table orders. Okay, here is a dispatch tank add order to with user ID total amount, user ID total amount. Would be added to it is parameter user ID total amount for tank add order. And now we can go what happened in slice, because add order is in slice, tank in slice visible and coded. And let's go to slice, order slice, orders slice. Here it is add order. Add order tank call create asynchron tank. Create asynchron tank will create it all what need for 3 dispatch, possible 3 dispatch, but would be always only 2 dispatch. Pending type of action, fulfilled or rejected the type of action. Fulfilled, it means all is okay. Rejected, it means some error. And here in that parameters of create asynchron tank, we have type, a type of action, and asynchron await arrow function with a new order. New order here it is user ID and total amount. It go to, here is await, Axios package dot post request, and that post request, this is address for that post request. That request is to backend. We are on the front end now, in React front end. Now we must go to Express application. It is backend. Front end communicate with backend. And this is address in backend. And here is important orders. And user ID and total amount go to backend. Moment, we can see orders, add order. You see, we send user ID and total amount. It is only what we send to order, because order items is a separate table, because one order can have more items. One items can contribute, can be only in one orders. And because in table orders from here go user ID and the total amount. It is also from customer when buying, it go to table orders, but I must create it also table for items, and items go in separate table. User ID, total amount. In this logic, what I speak about, we need to have both fields. We need both fields. User ID, for example, it is one. I think we have one, and total is 56 euro, and add order. It is here. It is user ID pending. It is default pending. Of course, first moment it is pending, waiting before processing, and the amount is 56. It must be dot and the decimal places, 2 decimal places, and it must be automatically. Okay, all that details I will correct later. It is orders. It is back to coding. Back to coding, and that order, new order is user ID and total amount. Look at orders. I must go in backend. It is express, and here is get all of orders. All that coded ChatGPT, I control. It is first time now what I look at every detail, and I satisfy. Look at it is connection with front end address. It is request get. There is only response. Pardon, get is it is reading, but I must add. Look at add. Add. There is a object request and the response. Request is user ID. Look at user ID. Status is automatically pending, and the total amount. Total amount. It is 3 is in request. 3 properties in object. You see curly bracket means that it is object. In that object there is 3 properties, and every of that properties there is a value, user ID, concretely status is pending, total amount is 56, and what is it? What is this? It is destructured assignment. Destructured assignment. We write names of properties on the left side, and the right side assign request body. It is in request body, it is, but how it would be called, we decided and said user ID, status, and total amount would be name. And immediately that name say by yourself about what is in that variable, in that properties. And we use that directly in following code. We use it where we need. And this is in one row, in one statement, we have 3 variables. It is destructured assignment, 3 variables. And request body is request is object, and the body is properties of that request. And in body, now we have in body these three variable, but of course after this structured assignment we have 3 variables what we can use how we want. Here it is in logic. We use a logic if there is a no user ID or logic or there is a no, exclamation sign means no, or is there a no total amount. Console error will be written user ID or total amount is missing. And we have return response status would be error, and return means stop here. If error, stop here, don't go ahead, and send send back to front end to back end, back end to front end. Uh, we now in back end, and error happen in communication between database and backend. And this resolution is from backend Express send to frontend React. Uh, it is about always in beginning we have this about error that we eliminate it. If error, we stop and send messages what we need send from backend to frontend. But if there is no error, here is properties of uh, properties, query properties of DB object. And it is parameter of that query. It is not properties, it is method. I see now it is method, and that method, its function, would have in parameter SQL code. SQL code insert into uh, artificial ChatGPT coded all that, and you see how it is alignment, excellent alignment, and very, very correct coding. And also capital letters for insert into. Capital letters means it is keyword from SQL language. And the small case, orders, etc., it is a variable. It is variable names what we give our elements, what we need, variables, etc. And orders insert into SQL query. There is a insert into keywords, orders name of table, and in parentheses we have user ID, status. In this moment it is pending, and total amount 56, user ID 1. And after that, capital letters values, question sign, question sign, question sign, 3 question sign, because we have 3 variable. And it is first what go to database. And second what go to database is real value. Instead of question mark, go real value. That real value is here. User ID, status, user ID, it is one value for one first question mark. Status or pending. It means that word value status. Status is, here, status is variable. Status is variable. It means that at first status is pending. But status can be processed. Okay, never mind. This is variable. Status is variable, like user ID is variable. But pending here in quote uh, is text, string, and the total amount is variable. It means can be value from status variable if different if different of pending, for example, or pending. Pending must be, it is default. But other status, okay, we will see where we and how we use with that status, pending, processing, etc. Total amount. Error result. Again, if there is error, pardon, it is comma here. First part finished. It means that all from this to this, it is insert into. It is SQL query coded with question mark, coded against injection fraud, injection possibility of bad injection in our SQL. SQL, because of that, would be sent to database in two documents. First document is insert into with the question mark, and second document after that only data, user ID, status for pending, and total amount. And it is comma. It is first parameter of query function is finished. Second parameter is arrow function with the two parameter, error and result. Result is error and result, two variable, two object. And in curly brackets, in body of arrow function, we control that if error, console log, and return. Return means stop, send back status, and program stop. Or if all is okay, if error not exist, we have response status 201. 201, here is the status 500. And the JSON parameter is object error. JSON form, in a JSON form coming to front end coming error, string error. And front end need JSON format because it is a communication format between front end and back end. Here is a resolution, but it is nothing nothing new that JavaScript environment use JSON. It is for that JavaScript environment like it is front end and back end, React and Express. Node server, it is normal that we use that JSON format is requested. And here is a object response. If all is okay, status 201. We will see that status 201 in response in if we want to see if we want to console log. And in JSON format, it is JSON function what would formatted this parameter. In parameter is object order ID, results inserted ID. You know, I more times spoke about this. Order ID coming from database. Every time when we insert in table, database is responsible for give order ID, primary key. And that order ID coming from results, object results coming from database to backend. If there is no results, there is no here there is in the what database produce, it go to result, because this query is insert into a table. Database does insert into. It is created a new row in table and created order ID for that row, for that new record in table. And there is nothing to return then order ID. Only order ID is returned from database, because nobody know order ID, but only database know order ID and must return it to backend, and backend Express will response it order ID to front end, and the front end tank will dispatch it as fulfilled, would dispatch it to reducer in store. But what about others? Must dispatch order ID, but also must dispatch total amount and status. Where it is? It is exist in front end. Tank is sent to backend user ID and total amount and pending, like default status. And we don't need send it back from database backend and back to front. No. And because of that, this JSON environment, and concretely here we spoke about React, is green software, because what don't need transmit, it is not transmit. If we have on the front end user ID, pending status, and the total amount, and we don't need, and we must transmit it to database, backend and database. But we don't need that data transmit back to front end. We only back to front end what front end don't know. And what is it? It is order ID. And from database, because database produce order ID, and from database go back order ID in JSON format, and would be in response object go to front end. And front end, there is all data, all is okay, there is no error, coming order ID, and there is save, tanks save and know what sent, user ID pending and 56 total amount, and altogether order ID and that three, four variable go like object. It is payload. It is payload, and action is object with payload and type of action. It is a string, and together they type of action and payload create. It is part of action object, and dispatch method dispatch action object action dispatch to store, because dispatch is a method of store. It means concretely that object coming to reducer in store in a reducer, payload with payload type of action said what to do, and the payload go in interaction with the actual state, and the result of that actual copy of actual state, and a result of that we have a new state, new actual state, and original state would be removed untouched. It is immutable way of mutation. Put is for update. Delete is for delete. Put is for update. It means we have get. It is for a reading, request reading. Add new orders. It is create, crude, create, read. Update is put, request, and delete is delete request. Delete is delete request. Like I analyze now, add new orders, so I can with delete and all others, because it is the same principle. There is a connection with orders. Delete is always ID. We must know ID of ID. It is parameter, and because here is a request params. We see that request, there is a object, there is a body properties, there is a params properties. In body is here we use params, not body, because params take parameters from address, and in address we have ID below of which we push button delete, and all other is same as I spoke. Query with question mark, query with one question mark, it is order ID, and here it is ID what coming from front end. Result, there is no result, would be deleted, and nothing, database nothing send back to backend, because deleting, there is nothing to send, because all what need, there is front end. Front end know what's sending, ID which sending to backend, and only what front end need is fulfilled or rejected. Need status 500 or 200. Does it error or not error? Is all is okay? Okay. Tank function will dispatch fulfilled, and it means payload. What would be payload? Payload would be ID, and that ID would be deleted from existing actual, but from copy of actual. But that deleting in a reducer go go like this. Let's get back in status. Let's get back in front end. Front end case after delete order. You see order, delete order, okay. Here it is in address, delete, parameter in address is here, it is after slash. We have orders, after slash we have ID, what we want to delete. And it is front end now we look at. And that ID go to backend to database, and database execute, deleted that record. but nothing sent back. Back, if all is okay, backend uh, will response all is okay. And it is enough for tank because tank know ID. In that moment, if all is okay, it is fulfilled and would be dispatched. That ID would be dispatched to a reducer. Now we can see in case fetch orders, add order, update, where is delete order. How it would be resolved in reducer. We now in reducer and what to do with fulfilled. Fulfilled is part of deleted order fulfilled. It is type of action. Type of action, and we know delete order fulfilled. Reducer know what it means that would be execute this arrow function. Reducer always have input, state, and action. That state is and output is state, actual state. Input is state and action. What state? Copy of state. Output, it is copy of output state. It means that reducer there is a output state, but input to input, state and action, that state input is copy of output state. And in this situation, there is a array of orders. That state is array of orders. And now coming ID of orders, what need to be deleted, removed from existing state, actual state, actual array of orders. One orders what must be removed, deleted. How it is happen? State action payload is ID, coming ID, fulfilled, all is okay, and the actual state is array. And this action have ID what we must remove. How it is created? The state orders, it is array of all orders, equal state orders, uh, state orders, every array there is a filter method, and filter method find filter method always result of filter method is array. For example, method find always is object is result. Here is filter always result is always array. It means that result would be array without array which has ID what we deleted. And here it is filter method. There is a parameter arrow function. Arrow function, there is a parameter order, and order by order from array go to through these conditions. Order ID not equal action payload ID. You see, action payload ID. Not equal, not equal. It means every order from existing actual, but really from copy of state, one by one order members of array go in these conditions, and every order what not equal, which ID not equal action payload ID, go in new array. order by order, go in a new array, create new array, and all go in new array except one, which which this is not true, which ID equal this payload ID. And the new state, new actual state is orders, array orders without ID what we want, what we deleted. It is about, I can spoke like this about put and back to backend. Here is the update. When you see a lot of time, it is practice and practice and practice, and it is knowledge. A lot of practice, but there is no, but there is no practice without theory. You must know what you do, and that do many times, many times, continuously, day by day. And you will see that it is some architecture of this is the same. At first, we have a request. We have this part of address what connected front end and back end. It is first parameter of delete function here. And second parameter is always arrow function with request response. Request, there is exist request. In request params would be ID, and we declare it object ID equal request params. It is also destructured assignment. But here there is only one variable. We have only one variable, not 2, 3, or etc. Destructured. This destructured assignment. This is assignments side. And now we have ID variable and use it. And where we use it instead of this question mark. Here it is. Here it is array. And always you will see in array, it is separate parameter. It is a separate parameter where we give value of data. And that value go in second transmission to database instead of question mark would be value of ID. Error, and the result is dim because there is no result. Nothing from database go back to backend because database deleted that row and all and the backend said all is okay. Communication between backend and database finished with okay. And backend send response object exists, response to front end, all is okay. And front end dispatch existing ID, what Tank know about that ID, dispatch that ID to store, to Redux store. Now look at response. We have response. Here is a status, but end. End means Nothing other. Finished. I don't send nothing more. Don't waiting for nothing more. End. Function end. Because there is no result. In object result, database nothing sending. And between backend and database, they communicate by MySQL protocol, MySQL 12. And what happened in that protocol, we here don't know. But if there is something wrong, backend will know, okay, something wrong, and send to front end this something wrong status 500. Response result. It is two objects. Response always must be, but result don't. We have not result about here delete. Also update. Look at put. Mm. Oh yeah. I look at here put. There is a request and response. In a request, here is also, but there is no results. Ah, yeah, no, normal. There is no results. I always thinking request, object request, and this is a response, but it is response. Response, okay, let's get C to delete. Request response must be always. It is request response. It is in hypertext transfer protocol request response. But this res is not a result. There is nothing with result. The result is, it is delete, now put. Result, don't mix this result. This result is communication because it is here, it is parameter of query. It is via query. We are in communication with database, backend with the database. And this result is object what coming from database to backend. But from backend to front end, go response. And result is object what coming from database. And here, put request. There is nothing in result because coming ID and new value and database make it ID new value. And it is existing record, and there is nothing too new for front end, and result is empty. Result is empty because it's same. Here it is same. Backend will send, if all is okay, between database backend will send response, in response, send the status 204, what means all is okay transmission. And in that moment, tank dispatch fulfilled option. And that fulfilled option means modify existing orders. How? That one of orders must be updated with new value. Which one? ID. And all that new value exists in the front side. They go to database, but they don't go back. And it is, we save a planet, not send back because front end, no ID and all new value because front end send that new value and ID and new value send to backend and only need in response only need okay, all is okay. Okay, when it's okay, uh, that updated value and all that it go like payload go to reducer. We can see that case. Okay, and update. Here is update. Update fulfilled. It is a string. It is one properties in action object. Second is action object. Second is payload. Payload. And now in action payload, we know ID. Here in body, we declare destructured order ID, user ID, status, total amount. Total amount. And all that coming from action payload. Action payload, because all that we send to backend. And now, when all is okay, we created the structure of that payload. Why we create this structure? Because we have in one row immediately variable, order ID, user ID, status, and total. We have object. This is in curly bracket, it is object with that four properties. And interesting, we can use that properties from that object. If we need, we can use it separately, like one variable, without any extra coding. And what we does, declare existing row, because we must control does it order exist. It must be exist because we just updated it. And state orders find, again, it is method find, not filter. Find always created object, result of find. State orders, it is array of existing orders. It is state on output of reducer, but it is always copy. It is always copy with what we work. But here it is not coded like copy by us, because in background there is a Eimer library with Redux toolkit coming. And that library in background would be treated like copy. Okay, state orders, array, method find. Method find, there is arrow function. Arrow function, there is order by order. Every order, orders members of array. Go through that process of arrow function, order by order. Go to this control. Does it exist order with this order ID? What just coming in payload, like payload. You see, we use order ID here. We use order ID because here you use order ID like variable excerpt used from this object. Order ID, and if exist, if exist, what we does, that user ID, existing order user ID equal user ID, because we find it, it is object, we find it uh, because result of find is order what have order ID. And now that existing order, user ID equal user ID. Status, existing order status equal status, and existing order total amount is total amount. It is explicitly, explicitly like in programming, classic programming process, but all happened on the copy behind scene. IMER library permit us to write like this. It means existing order, existing order. There is a there is a new value. This is existing what exists before, but status is new after update. Yeah? And the total amount is after update if I changes. If it is the same, okay, it is the same. Find and filter is interesting. And always, until now, in reducer, this add case in reducer, the process of between payload and existing state is always for put, for update, is always like this. Find existing order, does it exist by ID? And if exist, give it like very, very simple, like in classical programming, explicit, giving new value, updated value. This updated value is user ID as before. Status is maybe not pending, maybe now processing. And total amount, maybe now not 56, but 33. I said, and for me is a little uncommon that I put in admin application, put new orders, that I update new pod. But I said, uh, we can have total control on anything. It don't mean that we can change order of somebody. We cannot, because in moment when customer order, that moment customer received document of what he ordered, and that document stay on the computer of customer, and we nobody can change that what that change that document what is on computer of customer. Uh, but when we spoke about admin, admin means can intervene in any angle of architecture, in every angle of processing. Mm, okay, it is about component and component. There is CSS orders. There is a CSS. Here it is. Here is it. Here we use ChatGPT start with the CSS, but that formatting, that design, you can always change. You can send uh, ChatGPT, okay, remove existing design. Oh, excuse me, pardon. Remove existing, put some new in, for example, tailwind. And like that, remove, put new, suggest new. You can produce in uh, some short time a lot of design, a lot of design. But I must always, I want to say how one experienced programmers, teachers, professor, like I am, learn. I show it in Tank 1 when I start learning React, Redux. But when I understand and I learn and I coding by my hand, coming artificial intelligence, and I begin use it immediately. At first, I was interested what can do, how coded ChatGPT, and I was surprised. Excellent, excellent coding, and I every day experienced working like you see through this video and learn how communicate with ChatGPT, very short order, um, not spoke about something wrong, but said, okay, get me this, code this. Of course, if there is an error, show that error. And Tank 1 create crude like this of Tank 1. And ChatGPT know what to do and created and coded without. And in that process, some part I first time see and I accept it. It means not is all what I know, but I always learn something new. And I conclude definitely that artificial intelligence beginner must remove from yourself how that it is not exist. Absolutely remove. And I don't see better learning than books like before. Back to books. Of course, video is excellent like adding to books. But for studying, books is the best because of uh, of completeness and from beginning to 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 advanced step by step control. You have control of that pages by your hand. You can go back, you can go ahead, but in book you have a continuous all part of need knowledge. And if you something want to some part of the books, you can find in video. It's excellent, and you see. But it is second time you learn it in book. Now you learn it in video, because video there is a possibility what have not a book, but video cannot be uh, that completeness, compactness like it is book. That sense, that feeling when you take it in hand, that feeling from begin to end. I always learn from books, but always learn. There is no but. Uh, Always work from books, and today, uh, uh, because of that compactness. But I said myself, okay, it is boring, maybe boring from beginning to end, big books, small case characters. It is very boring. But for me, it was interesting because I want to know what this program give me complete in completeness. What that program can do, and when I learn complete possibility with that programs, it is not only language. It is Office, Word, and Excel, Access, like first in a new era of if in new era of personal computing. But of course, before it, long before it, personal, I study on the university. I have Fortran, beginning of 70 in previous century. And interesting, in some rank list, I see first time I see Fortran uh, in between 10 the most popular languages. I forget where I see it. It is very interesting, but no one programs died. Every programs is excellent. For example, now for controllers in Internet of Things, mm, maybe is the most popular can be program C. Uh, because why C? Because when we use high level languages, we need high level hardware. And it is not ecological. But when we uh, if we need only some row of coding binary 1010, but better coding with hand, hexadecimal, coding with hexadecimal. It is a small part for Internet of Things, but not use JavaScript or C++ for some very simple task what that robot could do. And in that kind of possibility, I think that C language C is excellent because it is a language what it is very near assembler, and if we don't need a lot of coding, okay, it can be that level. So no language would expire, and via that what we choose which language to use. But ecological uh, uh, ecological environment must be main principle main principle in using which language to use. Uh, okay, uh, I think it's all for this about orders. Now I will publish this video, uh, and during you watching it, I will prompt ChatGPT create coded SQL for items, order items, and after that created crude in application admin. Items, order, items. One order, many items. Okay, if you know somebody that need video like this, inform them, send information by your network, subscribe or like all information. Any engagement of you is great for all of us. Community growing and growing our knowledge only by growing community. Okay, thank you for watching this video.